This is a teacher Haris Bhatt, and you are seeing my YouTube channel Learn Accounting with Sir Haris. I waited for you, and then I started this question because it was an important question. That's why. So that is question has come in A2 accounting, and that is October November 24 32. October November 24 32 is the variant, and A2 accounting is basically our topic, and the topic is basically profit and loss sharing arrangement from A2 accounting. Profit and loss sharing arrangement. In profit and loss sharing arrangement, what we have to do, we have to calculate the profit for 6 months separately and for 6 months separately. Why? Maybe for 9 months and 3 months, maybe for 8 months and 4 months. Why? Because there is a partnership change. When there is a partnership change, then the partnership agreement between the partners are going to change. And even if the agreement is not changed, the partners will vary. Because previously there were two partners, and after 6 months, there was another partner which is admitted into the partnership business, or one of the partners retiring from the partnership business. So there is going to be change in partnership agreement, and there is going to be change in profit and loss sharing arrangement. Right? So let's see. Let's move forward. Okay. Okay. So this is the most important question. Students used to find it very difficult. Amna and Belinda have been in partnership for some years, sharing profit and losses equally. After allowing for interest on capital, their financial year end was 31st December. On 1st July, Nigel was admitted. On 1st July, Nigel was admitted as a partner. From then on, profit and loss were shared equally. So even previously, A and B were sharing profit equally. And after the admission of Nigel, A, B, and N profit are shared equally between the three partners, and the rate of interest was unchanged. Profit for the year was 1,124,000. The partnership accountant, Peter, divided the profit evenly between the 6 months period ended 30th June and the 6 months period ended 31st December. So Peter has divided the partnership profit 6 months for the first period and 6 months for the latest period. Why? Because after 6 months, the partnership agreement has been changed. Right? So, for example, profit evenly between the 6 months means that if an expense is incurred for the year of 12,000, it means that 1 month expense is 1,000. So we will record 6 months expense, means rent of 6,000 will be recorded in the first 6 months, and rent of 6,000 will be recorded in the last 6 months. This is how we will distribute the profit and produce the capital accounts and current account, which is given. So balance brought down 60,000 and 860,000 for Belinda. Nigel has contributed capital of 80,000, and the carry down is given. Current accounts are given. Interest on capital for the first period means first 6 months, last 6 months. Share of profit, same. Drawings are given. So let's calculate the interest on capital, which is not unchanged. So the interest on capital, total interest on capital for the whole year is going to be 1,500 for Amna and Linda. 1,500 plus 1,500, that is 3,000, which is given in the question, because interest on capital rate of interest is not given. 3,000 divided by capital of Amna is 60,000 into 100. So that is going to be 5%. If you calculate with Belinda, you will get the same. And if you calculate the interest on capital for Nigel, it will also be 5%. How come, sir? The interest on capital for Nigel is 2,000. And the capital for Nigel, which he has contributed, is 80,000 multiplied by 6 over 12, or into 100 into 6 over 12, you can say like that, because we have to calculate into 100 into 6 over 12. Why? Because we have to calculate interest, and that will again come 5%. Sir, why? Because Nigel has not contributed any capital into the business. He has joined the business on 1st July. So his capital will be calculated, his interest on capital will be calculated at the rate of 6 over 12 and for half year. So 2,000 into 80,000, it will be whatever interest is going to be calculated into 6 over 12. Or even if you won't calculate, if you solve it, the amount is basically calculated through 6 over 12. So 2,000 divided by 80,000 will become 2.5%, but actually it was 5%, because this should be 4,000. This is a 6 months interest. So 5% is the interest on capital for both the 2.5% for the 5% for Amna and Glinda, and 5% for the interest on capital for Nigel. Let me calculate it in a different manner. Nigel capital is 80,000, as the interest on rate is 5% into 6/12, because we will pay him interest on capital for only for 6 months. So that is comes 2,000. But examiner has told us that the calculation has gone wrong. Amna realized that Peter has not correctly taken the following into account when dividing the annual profit between the 6 months. An irrecoverable debt of 13,000 had been written off in December after a major customer went out of business. The debt related to sales made in August 2023. So there is an irrecoverable debt or bad debts of 13,000, which should be written in the later part of the question, in the second part, right? 13,000 of expense. But he has recorded it in a wrong way. A significant acquisition of non-current asset was made on 1st July of 50,000. We have purchased non-current asset of 50,000, but in the later part of the year, means the last 6 months. But in we have not recorded that transaction. It means that we have not recorded the depreciation also. Even the non-current asset is not recorded, and the depreciation is also not recorded. So we can calculate depreciation 50,000 into 2% into 6/12, that is 5,000. So 13,000 of bad debts and 5,000 of depreciation is basically incorrectly treated in the books of account. Obviously you are late, that's why I started the old question. It's okay. आपने message करने के बाद start किया है. कोई बात. अच्छा. Next is, sorry. Let's move on to the question now. What is the calculate the correct division of profit between the two periods? Assume that revenue and other expenses accrue evenly throughout the year. So let's see what is the profit given in the question. The profit for the year is going to be 1,24,000. Okay. So profit is 1,24,000, and it is clearly stated that we have calculated the profit incorrectly, and the division is not correct. So 1,24,000 is the profit for the whole year, right? So 6 months profit relate to the first part and 6 months relate to the second part. So we'll calculate 124,000 divided by 2 or into 6/12. That is going to be how much? 124,000 divided by 2. How much it is going to be? Divided by 2. 62,000. Okay. So 62,000 now, what I will do for the first 6 months, profit is 62,000, and we have subtracted the 18,000 of the expense, which is 13,000 bad debts plus 5,000 is the depreciation, which has been incorrectly treated, becomes 18,000, right? So it means that we, as the profit evenly accrue during the year, it means that we have subtracted 18,000 each month with the same amount every month. So 18,000 divided by 12 is going to be 1,500, and 1,500 into 6 is going to be 9,000. Okay. So we have subtracted, in the first part, we have subtracted minus 9,000. We have subtracted 9,000 from 62,000, and we have subtracted 9,000 from 62,000 in the last 6 months also. So this is wrong. Why, sir? Because the whole expense relates to the last 6 months profit. So it should be subtracted from the last 6 months, not from the first 6 months. So we have subtracted 9,000 more from the first 6 months, which needs to be added. And the answer is going to be 71,000. And we have subtracted 9,000, but it should be 18,000. So minus 9,000, we'll subtract more, and it will become 53,000. So now this is going to be the correct division of profit between the two periods. Assume that revenue and expenses accrue evenly throughout the year. Again, I will make you understand. Citizen, important thing is this. Revenue and expenses evenly accrue, other expenses accrued evenly throughout the year. Means that expenses, which is 18,000, is subtracted from every month equally, divided by 12. So that becomes 1,500. So it means that we have subtracted 1,500 in January, February, March, April, whole year. So it means that first 6 months, we have subtracted 9,000, rather the whole 18,000. And the next 6 months, we have subtracted 9,000. Rather, we should have subtracted whole 18,000 from the last 6 months. It means that first 6 months, which is the profit is 62,000, we have subtracted 9,000, which should not have been subtracted. So we will add 9,000 into this. And in the last 6 months, we should have subtracted 18,000. But we have subtracted only 9,000. So we will subtract 9,000 more in there. So this is the correct division, that 71,000 is the first part profit and 53,000 is the profit of the last 6 months. Now we have to prepare the capital account. Goodwill on 1st July was valued at 1,14,000 and was not retained in the books of account. So goodwill should not be shown in the books of account. This is known as internally generated goodwill. Inherent goodwill, we can call it as internally generated goodwill, can also be known as existing goodwill, we can say, and this should not be recorded in the books of accounts. So here we will write A, B, and niggle will write. So we'll go for the total here. A, B, niggle, and here we'll write. And let's prepare the capital account. Sir, capital account is already been prepared in the question. Yeah, it is prepared, but that is not correct. That is wrong. How come? Let's see. Balance brought down is 60,000, 60,000, and bank is 80,000. That's fine. I will write here 60,000. Here 60,000. And Nigel has contributed new amount on 1st July as capital, and that is 80,000. But always remember that goodwill, whenever there is a partnership change, we have to record the internally generated goodwill, existing goodwill, first in the old ratio, right, in the capital accounts of the old partners, and then it is going to be written off with new ratio in all the partners or in new partners. So old partners are A, B. So goodwill will be distributed between old partners credited to their capital account with equal ratio. So the goodwill is going to be 1,14,000. 1,14,000 divided by 2. What is the amount? Goodwill is given here in the question paper, not in the over here, 1,14,000. So 1,14,000 divided by 2, what it is? That is going to be 57,000. 57,000 here and 57,000 I will write here in A and B. So goodwill is supposed to be retained in the business and it is distributed between the old partners in old ratio. Then goodwill is going to be written off between all partners or new partners with new ratio. Samne rakho usko. So the new ratio is going to be 1,14,000 divided by 3. So what is the amount? Because new ratio is equal, but there are 3 partners, A, B, and N. 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. So divide by 3, 38,000. So I will write here 38,000. Here also 38,000 and here also 38,000. Now I will go with the total. I will write the carried down balances. I'm not writing the total because I want to complete the question. So total, you can do that on your own. Carried down, what is carried down? 79,000. 79,000. 79,000. 42. 42,000. So this is how we have prepared the capital accounts. Now we are going to prepare the current accounts. And for that, I'll try to wrap this up. 7153 we have already calculated. That is the profit for the year. So I will wrap some part of the portion and some I will continue to write here. Okay. So let me prepare the current accounts. Current accounts are here for A, B, and N. And I will write here also A, B, and N. Let's prepare that, the current accounts. I will go with the section first. And here. Oh, sorry. Just a minute. A, B, and N. Oh, no, So N is come over here. I will write the dot down first. So dot for the A is going to be the current account section. We will go back to the question here. The balance brought down is 1400 for A.C.M.A, that is on the credit side, and balance brought there is a loss of 1100 to Linda. So I write 1400 for Ellen, and for Linda this is 1100 brought down. Now comes the share of profit. Share of profit you need to write for 6 months, and then you need to write that for the last 6 months. So let's write it down. So share of profit for the first 6 months. For that, you have to prepare the appropriation account. Actually. So let's prepare the appropriation account. A short appropriation account will be helpful for us. The first 6 months, the profit is going to be how much? 70. It was 73,000. And for the last 6 months, the profit will be 60, 50, 71, 71, I think so. It was 71,000. And for the last 6 months, it is 53,000. Now we will subtract less interest on capital. That is for A, B, and N. For the first 6 months, the interest on capital is calculated on 60,000 into 5% into 6 over 12, as we have calculated earlier. 60,000 into 5% into 6 over 12, that is 1500. For Blenda also it is 1500. And for nickel, there will be no interest on capital, right? So I'm going to subtract 3,000 from this. And there is no salary. There is no interest on drawing. So what is the amount? 71,000 minus 3,000. This is 68,000. So profit share for the first 6 months equally 68,000. 68,000 divided by 2. 24,000. 34. Sorry, 34,000 for A, and for B 34,000 and 34,000. So 34,000 and 34,000. I will write here. First 6 months profit is 34,000, and for the last 6 months that is also 34. So for Linda is also 6,000, and for Alina is also 6,000. Now 53,000. Now we have to less interest on capital on A.C.M.A in the last 6 months on the new capital. That is 79,000 into 5% into 6 over 12. The rate of interest, he told in the question, the rate of interest is the same. It is 5%. It can be changed also. Yes. Rate of interest can be changed also. Then we have to calculate rate of interest accordingly. 1975. So this will be 1975. Next is also 1975. And for nickel, this is going to be 42,000 into 5% into 6 over 12. 1050. So we go for the total of this. 42,000 into 5% into 6 over 12. What is the total? 197 plus 1975 plus 1050. 5,000. We will subtract, it will become 48,000. 48,000. And that you will divide the profit in all 3 partners. And that will be divided by 3, 16,000 and 16,000 and 16,000. Right? So I will write here 6 month profit. 16,000 again, 16,000, and again for nickel is 16,000. So there is no actually salary. Otherwise, I would have written the salary also. There is no interest on drawing also. So I will not write that. Now I will go with the drawings. Interest on drawing is not there, but drawings are there. 38,500, 47,100, and 18,200. 38,500. Sorry, I'll write here 38,500, 47,100, and 18,200. 18,200. So now you will go with the total and you will find the carried down for all the three, and this is how you will get the answer for the current accounts. So I think so that current account of Nigel, the debit side is heavier, right? So Nigel current account is going to be carried down is going to be how much? That is 1800, and that is negative. So brought down will come over here for Nigel, that is 1800. Now we talk about Alina. For A, again the credit side is heavier. Can you tell me total of the credit side? 34,000 plus
50,000.
you are right. 50,000, and here comes also 50,000.
11,500. The carry down.
Yeah, 11,500. And for Blinda, 50,000 minus 1100 minus 47,100.
900.
No, no, no.
1,800, sir, actually.
200. 1,800. नहीं बेटा उल्टा जा रहे हो, बेटा उल्टा जा रहे हो। बेटा वो क्रेडिट शीट बढ़ी है ना, तो 50,000 में से माइनस करेंगे ना अब 47,100, और फिर जो है वो आप उसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे। और मेरा ख्याल है ये मैंने थोड़ा सा गलत किया है, तो कैरी डाउन निकला है ना मेरा। इफ यू सी the carried down for the nickel is wrong. That is 18,200 minus 16,000. How much it is going to be? 2,200. So now this one.
2,200.
Yeah. So this is done. So this is how we will solve this particular question. But the basic thing is that appropriation account and current accounts are prepared separately for first 6 months and for the last 6 months. Capital accounts I have prepared again. Why? Because to correct the goodwill calculation, to distribute the goodwill and write off the goodwill. And now let's see that what question is asked from us. Capital account we have prepared, current account we are done. Peter has been the partnership accountant since it was originally started. However, since noticing his errors, Amna is not wondering if the partnership should appoint a new accountant. She has also discovered that Nigel's wife is Peter's sister. Advise the partners whether or not they should appoint a new accountant. Justify your answer. So because she is Nigel's wife, so she can, go for some kind of a fraud with Nigel. Just she will, try to give him more profit, or try to assist Nigel in the partnership. Maybe secrecy will not be maintained because his private sister is there. But if she's more experienced, then definitely the accountant will be able to go for a more accurate accounts, and the investors will have more confidence in the business. Right, financial statements will become more reliable. Right, understanding and reliability will be increased. So it depends that if the Peter sister is not taking a part, is working only as an accountant, is not taking any role in the decision making of the company, because it may hurt decisions, because he's wife, so wife of the Nigel, then we should go with the Peter sister to appoint as a new accountant, so that our accounts give a true and fair view of the business. Right? So this is it. You can also solve such type of question which has come in October, November 24, 31. You can solve that at home. October, November 24, 31. So you can do that also. Okay. Right? Any question? Thank you. I hope so you got it.